So let's start off the bat for people who might be tuning in and they might not know about you, John, but what kind of
Sure.
music do you make?
I make Bird Street's music. It's indie rock, kind of in a '90s way,
Hmm.
but with a lot of like classic singer-songwriter elements. Very influenced. I grew up on the Beatles, very influenced by like
Hmm.
Tom Petty. Elvis Costello was a big influence for me. Artists like that, real songwriters. Michael Penn was a big one when I was
Hmm.
coming up. He was one that I heard, and I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
But also, more uh, indie and alternative kind of elements. Like I feel like there's a lot of Radiohead in my music. That's one of my favorite bands, at least some of it. Earlier Radiohead, and Elliott Smith is probably my favorite songwriter. I think a lot of my stuff kind of goes into that kind of just like it's sad, sad music with like kind of poppy, catchy melodies. That's
Hmm.
kind of the stuff I go for. So
Why the name Bird
yeah.
Streets?
Bird Streets is a neighborhood. So when I was making the first music I made with Jason Faulkner, who produced the first and the new record, um, I walk a lot. I'm a New York guy. I walk, and nobody walks in Los Angeles. But I was walking around, kind of just looking at Google Maps, and I found this neighborhood called the Bird Streets,
Hmm.
which is in the Hollywood Hills, up off the Sunset Strip, and all the streets are named after birds, hence the name. And it's a very posh enclave of like $20 million mansions, like Leo DiCaprio and people like that live up there.
Right.
Not my scene, but in the meantime, I was like sleeping on my friend's like deflated air mattress in his Hollywood apartment with all these cockroaches running around, and I was like, there's this sort of fun juxtaposition going on there between the two things, and I just liked the way the name sounded, and also at that time, I was some of the songs we were working on were written about people or things that went on where I kind of came up, which was upstate New York, and I lived in Albany for a long time. In downtown Albany, all the streets are named after birds: Lark Street, Dove Street, Swan Street. So it was this, kind of synchronicity between the two things, and it just
Are
kind of stuck.
yeah. Are you into birds, I guess, John?
I
Would you
love
say?
birds.
Yeah?
Birds are cool. They're the coolest. They're the coolest dinosaurs there are.
Yeah, my
Who doesn't
favorite
love birds?
bird would be an owl, basically. That's
Oh
mine.
yeah,
Yeah,
owls are cool.
there's
I have an owl tattoo back there.
wait,
Maybe if you can
wait,
see it. I
really?
don't know if you can see that.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Cool. So what's your favorite bird though for yourself then?
Geez, I don't know if I have a favorite bird. That's a good one. I mean, I'm really into like, crows and ravens just because
Okay.
they're really interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We watch a lot of bird videos around here, and I don't. I'm a big fan of the humble pigeon. I think
Ooh.
they get a bad rap,
Yeah.
and as a New Yorker, you learn to coexist with them, and they're cool, man. I love
They're
pigeons.
cool. Oh, have
Yeah.
you seen those videos of people are like, I don't know if you've seen this or taken this deep dive of the internet about people like the government spying on you through pigeons.
Oh, pigeons or birds aren't real, that whole thing, or is that a different thing? Have you seen
I
the birds
guess
aren't
that's a
real thing?
different thing as
I
well
guess it
too.
is.
Like that. Oh, okay. What? How are
Right,
birds not real?
pigeons are drones kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But there's also a whole like birds aren't real movement, which I think is kind of tied into that, but
What?
it was a joke thing that kind of took off and became a real moneymaker for somebody.
I guess someone making bank somewhere about that.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But yeah, I seen on the internet that literally you see lines of pigeons like on like what is it? On skyscrapers, on lines, and that's how they get powered and everything. It's a weird thing on the internet basically. You
I
gotta
have to
look
look.
into this. It's
That,
so random.
that's kind of fascinating. People have a lot of free time, surprisingly, and
Yeah.
they come up with some things, man.
But we're here to talk about your new record. I was told you got a brand new record coming out in October. It's your
Yeah.
third record. How was the process making this record?
It's the third Bird Streets record. I should clarify, I
Mhm.
was making records under my own name and under some band names for a good many years before, a good 15 years before the first Bird Streets record came out. So this is for me, technically, personally, my like
Mhm.
eighth record, but
Wow.
it's the third Bird Streets record, and that was sort of a fresh start creatively when I changed over,
Mhm.
rebranded or whatever you want to call it. Um, So I'm sorry, I just glossed over what the question
No,
was.
how long was the process for making this record, John?
Well, this one was interesting because we started it. I worked with Jason Faulkner, who's an old buddy and a producer and performer out in Los Angeles. We started this in, I think we did the first sessions in May of 21.
Oh,
So it was
cool.
the first flight I took after COVID,
Hmm.
because in New York, COVID lockdown was immediate, and it was terrifying and weird and
Mhm.
confusing here, as it was, I'm sure, a lot of places, but like New York, especially, where you're used to just there's people everywhere, there's
Right.
everything's motion and life, and then all of a sudden that just stopped for several months. It was crazy, but that also influenced a lot of the writing on this record.
Hmm.
And yeah, we started in like May of 21. I think we did 4 or 5 songs in that first couple weeks. We just decided, like, let's bubble up. We're buddies. Let's hang out. Um, we're all, we took our tests. And then over the next couple years we did a couple songs at a time, and but it took a while because meanwhile, Jason has been playing with Beck for a number of years. He's
Mhm.
Beck's guitarist, but also, I think in 22 it was, he got hired by St. Vincent. So he's been doing double
Oh,
duty with two really major artists
oh.
for the last several years. So it was like the opportunities got fewer and further between, because also I have to fly out there and everything. So
Mhm.
so it ended up taking about 4 years from top to tail, because I mean, we basically finished tracking it last January, but then it took almost a year to get back and mix it. But now it's done. I'm happy to have it done, and there's
Yeah.
been other things in the meantime, and there's other records, and I've been able to make other things in the meantime. So there's other things
Mhm.
coming after this too.
Oh, so you are prepping basically. You're always on like creating mode basically.
Sort of, like, I never had that momentum before, but like one of the interesting things about COVID at that period was there wasn't a
Mhm.
hell of a lot else to do.
True.
But like, write songs, make things, and uh, and I just started planting seeds and like calling up all these different people, and that's actually how I started working with Michael Lockwood, who produced a lot of the last record. Um, and I did some tracks with a bunch of different people over the last several years, which I've been just sort of collecting, and
Hmm.
eventually they'll become records. But I'm happy to have this one be the one right now, because it feels
It's good.
strangely timely too, because it's a real kind of paranoid, kind of sketchy kind of record. It's a
Yeah.
little itchy. I say it's the kind of itchy. It's a
That's a
little
new term.
uncomfortable.
That's a
Yeah,
new
it's a
term
little.
from someone I'm hearing from a record. It's like itchy. Like you
Yeah,
never hear
yeah.
that.
It's got a little bit of a weird vibe. It's like it's a guitar pop record when it comes down to it, but
Mhm.
it's got a lot of other things going on, and it starts in this really kind of dark, claustrophobic minor key kind of place, and then it by the end of the record, it's just like screaming. So it's got a real arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the easiest and hardest song to write on the record?
Easiest and hardest.
Because it's
Interesting
been a
question.
while, because you said it's been since 2021, so you have probably created so much more since then, but
Yeah, yeah. Easiest and hardest. Well, if we're just going to talk in terms of the longest like gestation period between
mhm.
beginning and ending a song, that's actually the last song, Sweet Amnesia, because
Mm,
the verse of that song, the verses, at least predominantly, were written when I was like 19. Like, so we're talking like early 90s, like mid
wow.
90s. Um, so parts of that song are literally 30 years old, and
What?
parts of the new single "Run for Our Lives," also some of those bits go back. So I was kind of picking through some old pieces,
Mm,
finding these old things that I'd started that weren't had never been finished, and kind of finding ways to finish them for this record. Whether that was the hardest thing, I don't know, because like sometimes you just you put a thing down for a while and you come back to it, and
mhm.
suddenly you know how to finish it. It's you can run into a wall very easily with writing, and just be like, put
Yeah.
that aside. And I did that with some of these things where I was like, I had verses and I never had a chorus that I liked, and it just took going into a room with somebody else and being like, oh wait, that's it.
Mm,
Uh, Topically, the hardest song to write was probably this. There's a song called "Exit Plan,"
Mhm.
which is definitely that was a COVID song, um, essentially. But it was also like it was a I was processing my divorce and going through like just very depressed. This was deep in
Mhm.
the heart of late 2020 when I wrote that. So and it's yeah, that's a heavy one. Um, yeah, probably those. Although as a writer, actually, you know what? As a writer, It's a Start, which was the last single that came out. That was a real trip because I refined the lyrics on it. I tend to write right up until I sing the vocal and sometimes after.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I'm not very much like, at least when I work with Jason, it tends to be this way where I'm writing based on what I think we need to bring in, and he sometimes gives me prompts like I need this kind of song. And it's a cool way to work, you know, versus just like I'm going to write whatever comes to mind today.
Yeah.
And that one, like I knew what I wanted the song to sound like, but the lyrics took forever to get to a place where I felt like it worked,
Mhm.
um, where it wasn't super obvious. And I went through like a bunch of like different rhyme schemes and like just
Mm.
really kept tearing it apart and putting it back together. And I think we actually recut the vocal right before we mixed it. I think I actually went back like the day we were supposed to mix it. I was like, I have another idea, and it was that's what's on the record. This happened on the last album too. It's a thing that he probably gets annoyed by it, but I love that about it because
So
it's
you would have a lot of demos then of like various different
not
takes, different things of the record.
sort of some of the songs, yes, and not in that case because there's probably a demo I made early in the early stages of it, but usually once I demo the thing and bring it in with Jason, at least when I bring it in, and we start working on it, the song becomes the song. Um, and then we might refine certain parts and change some things, add some things.
Hmm.
But in this case, it was just me going back. The melody was there, I knew what it was supposed to be. It was just finding what I was trying to say,
Yeah.
essentially, with that one, because it's kind of abstract, it's kind of psychedelic and
Mhm.
um, uh, existential, and so that's sometimes it's hard to like do that without being obvious or without being too obscure. Like I knew what
Yeah.
I wanted to, I knew where I was going eventually. It just took a while to get there.
Yeah. Well, did you have a lot of like writer's block? I guess Jason kind of helped with that a little bit too, right?
Um, yeah, well, I hit walls with things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying, like some of these songs, were sitting there for
Yeah.
so many years before I brought them back and was like, okay, it's this now. Um, Run for Our Lives actually is a good example of that because I had the verse for 25 years. I
Mm-hmm.
knew I was trying to write a certain kind of pop song, but I tried 10 different choruses over the years, would periodically just pull it out and be like, this is a cool idea. Let's see if I can get there. Demoed it a few different times, a few different ways. I just never had it. It wasn't right. And I brought it to Jason one day and I played the verse for him. He's like, that's really cool. And I was like, cool, I don't have a chorus, man. Like, and he was like, I saw I saw the ticking a
Yes.
little bit, the little wheel going around. And he was like, hang on. And he had this melody and these chords that he had presented to another artist that they didn't use. I think it might have actually been something he had written to bring it back. And thank you, Beck, for not using it. It saved my song. Then it was just suddenly it was like, oh, this is it. This is the song, and it's only been out a week, but it's our best performing single that we've put out in my entire career. So
That's great.
yeah,
I guess fans are liking what they're hearing so far for singles wise and everything, right?
yeah, it seems to be
Yeah.
growing each time, which is a beautiful way to see things go toward an album release. Yeah, this is the first time I've done this much roll up. What is that the word? Build up to an album. Like I usually a single or two before
Mm-hmm.
the drop, but this one we're doing, four songs before the album actually hits, which is a very modern way to approach things. But
Yeah.
I'm coming around to it, man. It's cool. It's nice to have momentum going into the release.
Yeah. It's what is fans' favorite track so far of the single so far?
It seems to be Run for Our Lives. I mean,
Okay.
that's gotten an immediate response. Uh, yeah, I've been every day just kind of I hate looking at Spotify numbers because they're kind of meaningless, but they also like if you see them moving, it's like, oh, okay, this is
Is it
cool. Like
working?
this is connecting with people in different parts of the world. And
Hmm.
sometimes it's just a pop song. That's what it comes down to. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's what it takes.
Hmm.
um, the next single will be, a little weirder, and we'll see how that one does. But
Yeah.
yeah, each track we put out has been better than the last. So
That's good.
this seems to be the one.
Cool. What track on the record feels most personal to you, and why?
Oh, good one.
Hmm.
Most personal is probably "Don't Be a Stranger," which is the second to last song on the record. Um, which is a little bit of a departure from the rest of the stuff on the album. It's a little more direct.
Hmm.
And that was another. I hate to call them COVID songs. That was a song that was written sort of during that isolation period, though, where
Yeah.
it just, everything felt really lonely and detached, and like you feel like you're losing connection with people, and it's basically just saying like, yeah, stay with me.
Yeah.
And it was also sort of written for my uh, ex-partner at the time, because
Hmm.
we had gone through a divorce. We were going through a divorce at the time, and we had this. We had tried to maintain a connection over the time that we were splitting up, but it was all of a sudden you can't see anybody for whatever 6 months, and it was just felt like slipping away.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit about that. But it's really more. It's more general than that. I think it
Hmm.
applies to just basic human connection. So.
Yeah. Cool. You have new shows. Yeah, well, you're performing a few shows in October and then
Yeah,
November. I guess tell me about them. Are you excited to actually start performing this record, the new
yeah,
songs and everything?
super excited. We have a few things in New York next month with the
Hmm.
band, and I haven't gotten to do a ton of band stuff this year, so it's nice to be back with a rhythm section, and like really being able to do these songs the right way. And we're doing the Bowery Ballroom, which is a venue I've not been able to play yet in New York, and it's one of those bucket list kind of things. Even though I know it's just a club, it's a big club, but it's
Hmm.
an awesome place. I've seen a million shows there, so it's going to be amazing to play there. We're opening for Super Drag, who are some old buddies from back in the day, and it's been sold out for months, and it's going to be insane. Really excited about that. And then we're doing our album release at the Bowery Electric on the 24th of October, which we're going to play the whole record and some other stuff, and that's gonna be wild. I can't wait. And then there's some other stuff in the works for November and December, but those are the two that I'm really really got my eyes on right now.
So, for shows, do you get nervous at all, or are you just like, no, this is normal. I'm good at performing in front of people. It's always hit or miss with artists I've talked to.
Yeah, it depends, because I do a lot of solo performances.
Hmm.
I'm a songwriter, and that's the kind of my main way of presenting things, mostly because just running a band is so expensive, and
Yeah.
it's hard to tour that. But sometimes with solo shows, I do get a little shaky.
Hmm.
I don't know, with the band, not so much anymore. Like there was probably a while, but these days, I don't know. I've been doing this for a long time, and it gets you by surprise. Once in a while, it's there, but for the most part, I'm just like, this is the job. Like, let's
Yeah.
go do the work. And it's fun. Like when you get out there and you're playing with a band, it's just like I've learned how to just like relax into it and like really have a good time, versus over analyzing every little thing that's going on. which
What
is which is really easy to do, but when you have my brain. But yeah, that I've kind of like leave that off the stage and just go and do the trick.
what helps you? I guess if you're not playing with your band, but what helps you, I guess, at ease with those solo shows and with yourself on stage?
Uh, you know, usually by the end of the first or second song, you can tell if people are vibing with you, and that changes things tremendously. Like you can
Mm.
sometimes tell right at the top of the show, because it's a little, if you're trying to reach people and they're just a little distant, if it's depending on the room, of course, because sometimes you play in a room where it's like these people aren't really here to see me, they're just here to have drinks.
Right.
Those situations can be kind of nerve-wracking, where I have to really work for this. um but so yeah, just feeling feeling the response as it goes a long way toward easing one's mind. Also,
Yeah.
small doses of mushrooms sometimes help. Just a little bit. Just a little gummy, one gummy.
One
Take the edge
gummy,
off.
take it off, get some experiences out of it.
Yeah, you get to you tell different stories sometimes too. It's fun.
Nice, cool. So what
Therapeutic.
made I never actually asked you what made you want to get into like songwriting, making music and everything, John?
Oh, hey. That's a good question. I mean, like, yeah, when I was a, I mean, I was a sick kid, and yeah, I had like childhood cancer, so like,
Hmm.
I was kind of, not a shut in, but you know what I mean. I spent a lot of time indoors, and so I don't know. I just found myself connecting. Like, I just wanted to listen to music all the time. I played my parents' records, the Beatles records and stuff that they had around, and I just kind of wanted to be in that world, and I just kind of knew from a young age that it was like I want to be around music. I want to do something that involves music. Like, that was the only thing I was ever really interested in. um I don't know that I figured out I wanted to be a songwriter until later. Like, I always kind of wanted to try to write songs, but I think I didn't really figure that out until like maybe later in high school, like having heard those records by like Elvis Costello, Michael Penn. I was really into They Might Be Giants, amazing songwriters. Um, and Nirvana and like all that music
Hmm.
that came out and around that time, that grunge or whatever you want to call it, the beginning of the alternative wave, like that stuff really that changed everything, because it was all of a sudden it was like, oh, you can just like, I don't have to be able to play scales like 30-second notes on the guitar. I can just write songs and play them loud, and that works great. That's awesome. I can do that. Let's go. So that was a real fire starter to getting me to start bands and write songs a lot. So
Cool. Okay. Nice.
yeah,
Is there a song that you wish you never wrote, John?
a song I wish I never wrote.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We'll take a
Wow, that's
different turn with it. Why not?
huh. There's probably several of those but nobody will ever hear them. There's a bunch. I don't know. I mean,
Well, you release so many songs throughout the years, like you told me, like you have like eight or nine records down the
yeah,
belt, right? With your
yeah.
solo stuff, like what is a song that you actually did release, and you're like, I wish I never did write this actually after the fact and
Jeez.
released, basically, yeah.
I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. I have a few songs. I have a few songs that I don't regret releasing them. I don't want to unwrite them, but I might have approached them differently now. Like,
Hmm.
I have a few songs that like maybe are a little meaner or more bitter than I would like to be in. So, I don't love that about certain things that I've written, but I'm not going to name names here. I just have a few lyrics that I probably would go back and be like, I could have done that differently.
Yeah.
Um, but I think of the stuff that I've released, I can't say there's anything that I would erase. There's songs that I would re-record.
Hmm.
I would do better vocally. That's the analytical part of me that comes into play. But like, yeah, I think if I've written it and released it, I'm happy with it.
That's fair.
Just sometimes it's the approach, the production approach. I don't. That's more the thing. It's not the writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What's some music you've been listening to lately, John? That you've been getting inspired on and everything?
The new Pulp record, More, is
Hmm.
incredible, incredible. It's up there with all their best stuff. It's maybe my favorite record of the year. I'm really liking the new Wet Leg record, Moisturizer. What else? I mean, I'm usually listening to this stuff from the '70s and stuff. So like,
Oh,
I listen to all these over here
yeah.
mostly, but yeah, yeah. Geez, what else? I got nothing else right now. Oh, there's this artist Sadi out of California. It's a friend,
Hmm.
Bushra Al Sadi, who she just put a record out called Birds of Paradise, which is incredible. Such
Hmm.
a talent. Yeah,
Another
those are a
bird
couple.
fan.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
How much bird fans of like different artists, different people, friends of friends that you know that like make stuff about birds that you know, John?
That's a good question. I've never really thought about that. I don't know. I feel like, birds are such a we all it's an easy one to go to in terms of,
Hmm.
like metaphorically to talk about birds or to, bird art. It's, they're birds, man. They're part
Yeah.
of our lives. So, but I don't know that I have anybody like close to me that does that on a regular basis. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. If you could have your listeners and fans remember one thing about yourself, what would you want them to remember you by?
About me, what I want them to remember me by.
Yeah.
I just want them to, I would want people to remember that I was honest.
Hmm.
I wrote from the heart, I mean, that's
Hmm.
when it comes down to it, like the songs a friend, actually a drummer who's going to be playing with us, sent me a text the other day and he said, really liking the Escape Artist, great record, good job. I hope your therapist is helping you. I was like, no, man, that's what these songs are for. That's what the songs are for. It's where I put all of this stuff, man. But and she is helping, but like, but yeah, it's that, I want people to remember that I said things that, you know, that meant something and connected with them.
Hmm.
Like my favorite thing after a show, the thing that makes it all, because it's the music business stinks and there's never any real money. And we just do it because this is what we do. But the stuff that pays dividends is when I play a show and somebody comes up after and says, "Hey, your record got me through a breakup."
Hmm.
Or like I had a guy come up, I have a song called Unkind, which is very directly about my divorce, like very much. And it's an accountability song. It's about like I'm taking responsibility for all this. Um, and I had somebody come up and like in tears talking about how much that song meant. And I was just like, ugh. So like those moments, just that's what it's all about for me. And
That's
that's I
nice.
guess that's that. Yeah.
That's good. I like hearing that because it's.
As much as it's usually something a little sad, a little emotional, it's like, well,
Mhm.
that's good. That's with that person forever, and
Yeah.
that's a real connection.
Yeah, you've probably changed countless of people's lives throughout your music, John. That's the thing. Like you've
I mean,
changed
probably countable, but like we're working on countless. We're
countless.
we're getting there, man. We're getting there. Yeah, I know that. I mean, I never really think about it in those terms, but yeah, maybe. And
Hmm.
that's I mean, just sometimes it's just hearing the song and liking a song is enough. It just doesn't matter what the content is. It's just like that song sticks with somebody. That's also just as good. When they
Hmm.
say like, I love that song, I want to hear that song again. Like I had a guy ask me to play a song twice at a show recently.
Oh,
Like it was a couple sets, and he came up in between sets. He's like, "That song was really good. Would you play that again later?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure."
cool.
You want me to play my own song again? Yeah, sure. So yeah, that really goes a long way.
Neat. Cool.
You know.
Um what's your goal really for music for you, John? Where do you want to go basically in the next 5 years with music then? Because you've been doing
Uh,
it for so long, but what about the
all the way to
next?
the top.
Yeah.
Where I just sustainability. I just want to grow this thing into a thing that I can go out and do,
Yeah.
75, 100 days a year, go play shows and just be touring and working and making records the whole time and just, that's it's the only thing I want to do. I'm good. I'm not good at other things, but I'm the best at this. So,
Right.
I want to work more with other artists, do more co-writing, things like that, just really double down on this thing I put my life into.
Cool. I love that. Nice. If you could talk to yourself from a year from now, what would you like to tell yourself?
Uh, it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be everything's working out.
Nice. Accountability. We like it. We like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah. You're doing it right.
Cool. Describe yourself with one word. What would you say?
One word.
One word. You,
Hmm.
mm-hmm.
Oh no, what are words?
It's under the pressure always when people are like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I don't know if I can do this one. I'm looking around for something. Give me a word here. Come on, words. Where's my almanac? Uh, yeah. I don't know. um, I was gonna say good hang. That's two words. Shit. Why is this the hardest one? This is the hardest question you've asked me.
I'm sorry. It's the best one near the last question, basically. So it's the
Oh,
best one always.
yeah, okay. Dedicated.
Why dedicated?
Um, because I feel like I'm still doing this, you know, 30 years in, and
Mhm.
if I'm counting back to like day one, sort of, it's 31 years now since I started my first real band, and yeah, I've seen a lot of people come and go. I've had friends that are like, I don't play music anymore, which is like,
Mhm.
what? What
Yeah.
do you mean you don't play? I don't even have a guitar anymore. Like, what are you talking about? Um, and so, yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just like, yeah, I'm in it for the long haul, clearly. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
And do you have anything planned for the rest of 2025 after those shows?
Doing a
John,
couple
tell. Yeah.
couple shows. We're gonna have that single. The record's going to radio pretty soon,
Mhm.
so hopefully we'll get some things going from that, and hopefully more shows.
Yeah.
Hopefully more and more and more shows. Trying to get on some tours right now and
Yeah.
have things, kind of momentum going into next year, and then I would love to this time next year have another record out. I'm hoping to just back it right up with another one. I have another one that's basically done, which is way well, not weirder, but it's like just more like a bunch of singles, and there's a lot of cool guest appearances on
Oh.
it. Yeah, I had in fact I did a couple tracks recently last year. It's almost a year ago now, but I did a
Mhm.
couple tracks with Pete and Davey from Elvis Costello's band, which was just like an
Ooh,
absolute mind blower. And
that's
I've
cool.
been sitting on these things like waiting to get those out. So I'm really want to get those out as soon as possible. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in the works, and another like there's also another like kind of moody, sad record right behind that. So we'll just see which one gets done first. But yeah, I just want to like make more stuff, put more stuff out, just keep it going, man. Keep the ball rolling because it's been 3 years in between the last record and this one, and that's a lifetime. So uh,
It's not really. If you look at it like, yes, in this day and age of people releasing stuff, it is, but also like record cycles wise, a lot of
no,
people just do that.
that's true. That's true. And record cycles are, they've changed, but they also kind of haven't, But I'm
Yeah.
also like, I don't know, I was a big was and still am a huge Prince fan, and
Hmm.
Prince had a record reliably every year up
Yeah.
through the, from '78 up until 1991, I think, maybe '92. I think he had a record every single year, and like or you go back into the '70s, the Beatles were putting two records out a year. Well, Kiss, I don't like Kiss, but like they put out like two records a year through the entire
Hmm.
'70s. Like just, I'm not saying that much, but like yeah, I don't know if you've got the work. I don't know. There's no reason to sit on it. I've
True.
sat on a lot of things. I'm talking about songs I wrote when I was, in '98, and they're just coming out now, and it's like, yeah, I don't know if I have another 25 to sit on these songs. So like, let's get them out there, man.
Yeah.
So hopefully more of that. Just keep it going. Everybody go to birdstreets.com. Everybody check out The Escape Artist out October 17th.
Hmm.
And yeah, all the links are there. You can pre-order it on a couple different colors of vinyl and CD and all the things, and it's going to be really cool. And I can't wait for everybody to hear the rest of it.
Nice. Pre-save it, pre-order all the fun stuff for John.
Yeah.
Cool.